Chile and India didn't have story in the past, but nowadays they have agreed a lot of business. Currently, there are only two trade agreements with the region, India. The Partial Scope Agreement, AAP, signed with Chile in 2006, and the other one is Preferential Trade Agreement, APC, signed with Mercosur in 2004. The preferential trade agreements with Chile and Mercosur were so limited in terms of product coverage and depth of liberalization that they practically gave these trading partners no material preference in the Indian market. India imports a lot of goods from Latin America. For example, they import hydrocarbons from Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil, edible oils and sugar from Brazil and Argentina, copper and precious metals from Chile. In this case, those are important for them. India enjoys a preferential trade agreement with Chile and with the Mercosur. India industry has welcomed both of these agreements. However, the PTAs are much narrower in scope than free trade agreements.
So now let's talk about the free trade agreement, the exportation and importation products between Chile and India. Let's start with Chile. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Chile establishes a table with more than 50 types of import items with India, as you can see in the next table of the Chile official page. Due to an update of agricultural products that actually used to not have a tariff preference under the AAP, this market will be improved. Nuts, cherries, paltas, grapes, between others, are taken into account in the sector for a potential growth in each industry. Also for the fishing sector, products like fish, flour, cod, salmon are being benefited with these agreements. Also, the Chilean industry is being benefited with the exportation of the forest sector, for example, wood, cellulose, paper, cartoon, etc. For India exports since 2009, it's imported products such as pearls, foods, machinery, textiles, mineral, and vehicle garments, as the next table shows. And finally, from the negotiations that are still being developed, Chile will expand from 178 to more than 1,100 the products that are currently entered the Indian market. These tariff preferences will have 50% of more discounts in the tariff when the results of the negotiation come into force.
The agreement with Chile was also quite limited in its original form, with only 2% of tariff lines enjoying preferential access, and no fully liberated tariff lines, but the two sides signed a major extension of the deal in 2016. Despite this disadvantage, this trade brings multiple advantages that benefit both countries. The implementation of the Chile-India agreement is positive for both markets. Likewise, the Indian economy grew by 6.8% in 2016 and is projected to do so by 7.2% in 2017. Its levels of consumption are expected to triple by 2025, which undoubtedly represents a major opportunity for Chile exports to India and copper.
Although Chile and India seem to be two completely different countries, the chances of maintaining current agreements and improving them over time are highly likely and very beneficial for both parties. We just have to keep in mind that India is already part of the BRICS emerging markets, and of course its population is a factor to take into account when exporting Chilean products to be marketed in the Asian giant market. It is estimated that it will be the most populous country by 2022. On the other hand, Chile is one of the most competitive countries in Latin America, producing copper, silver, and nitrates, aiming at the development of a global mining and technological services industry. In other areas, Chile favors investment in renewable energy such as solar and wind energy, in which Indian companies could play a competitive role. On the negative side, at least 88% of the goods exported to India remain raw materials. Therefore, they must be careful, since Chile must start offering products with greater added value that allow its products to be more competitive, not only depending on the favorable conditions that it has at the level of reduction in tariff. On the other hand, India must be aware that Chile is a partner and not just a springboard to be more participatory in the Latin American market, that is, to be more cooperative and develop a strong industry, as in the case of renewable energies that seem more necessary than ever. Finally, it is very likely that if the relations in these coming years are favorable, the partial agreement will become a complete free trade agreement, which will be a huge change for emerging economies and developing countries.